thing? I think we're on the air right now. Yeah. Shahid be up in a second. What up? I think we are live. Whoa. Yeah, let's get our timer going here. I don't know what's going on. We got our phones plugged in. It doesn't look like it. Golly. Ladies and gentlemen, we are... Let me double check, make sure things are going. Are we on? Are we on?
Oh yeah, you're on.
Our phone's not plugged in, and
our life is completely disconnected from its normal reading.
It's all good. We're just getting settled here on a June 6th edition of Higher Thought. We're asking what's on your mind on the screen.
Well, yeah, that would require...
Mo, you had to drain the main vein?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, well, every so often, you just got to ease that internal pressure.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. But speaking of which, you saw your lady friend recently.
I did.
Did you relieve the pressure?
Jesus Christ. We had a wonderful visit, thank you.
You had a good visit. You had a good visit. But she tunes in from time to time, so I guess we need to behave.
She pretty much tunes in every time, so...
Okay. Hi!
Right, she might punch you in the balls next time.
Let's see, we can say 55 minutes, maybe. We've been on about a minute, maybe. Who knows? Give or take.
Whatever, we'll just go until they throw us off the air.
Yeah, something like that, something like that. How you doing, Shahid?
I'm doing fine.
We got Shahid. You can always come show your face and wave, you know. There he is. Yeah, look at this guy. Oh, yeah. I got to shave mine off a little bit, you know. I mean, I was getting some sun out by the pool.
Oh, yeah? By the pool?
By the pool.
By the pool.
Yeah, and so, you know, I figured, you know, might as well take off some of the beard and get a little sun.
Oh, I mean, I shaved and all that.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're all striving for Shahid's complexion, right?
Maybe close.
Wow.
Close. I could work with close.
So there's been a lot of rain the last couple of days.
Oh, Jeebus Crispies. All the roads are flooded.
I had to go the long way around to get here.
Dude, you go the long way around to get just about anywhere.
Yeah, well, you know, especially around your...
Right, yeah.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah. Well, you know, this has been the second wettest May in recorded history. And no, we're not going to talk about your mama.
Well, right, your mom and second wettest, you know. I mean, like, there was all kind of opportunities right there. And today is like an anniversary of sorts for many things. Many things. It is the 35th anniversary of Tetris, almost as old as me.
Oh, my God. I've been playing Tetris. Had it on my Mac. It was on a floppy. You loaded it on the Mac. And then
some good stuff. Where did Tetris originate from?
Russia.
Russia. I didn't know that until a couple of days ago.
Oh, I did. The original version.
Initializing network, it says. Oh, there it is.
The initial version of Tetris that I had for my Mac, all of the graphics, which was basically just line, vector, dot.
Look, my green shirt is the color of the show.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I like how that works.
I blend in.
You see through.
I'm like Superman. Yeah. And even my green cup is kind of just like, whoa.
Oh, my. It's a clear cup. That's great.
Technology. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So 35th anniversary of Tetris. Also, it's D-Day. 75th anniversary?
I don't know.
Something like that?
It's been a long time.
Well, 1944 would that be?
Yeah.
If, like, you went back rolled back 75 years? Yeah. So, you know, thanks to our former military, you know, for dropping the D on D-Day, you know?
I mean,
many Americans and French soldiers lost their lives protecting freedom.
American, British, Canadian.
Well, I think D-Day was mainly French and American for the most part. I'm sure there were some British involved as well.
And the Canadians were damn.
Which, who were the big three leaders during World War II? The big three.
The big three. Churchill.
Mm-hmm.
Roosevelt,
That's two.
and Stalin.
And Stalin, yep. Yep. From what country?
Well, it was the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics.
Ah, yes, where they made Tetris, of course. And also the 20th anniversary of, let me get that right. It's 25th or maybe even 30th. I might have that number wrong. So I'm not exactly sure what exactly the exact anniversary
It's
is.
the somethingth anniversary of
Ferris Bueller's Day Off. He skipped school during summer on this day about maybe 30 years ago. I'm thinking maybe 1989.
Right, well, it wasn't summer. He just skipped school.
Well, that's just when the movie came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
Because there ain't no
school.
cure for the summertime blues.
So we can even get to a couple of your stories here real quick. You have a debate that we'd like to get your thoughts on. You can call in 377-366-8951.
And just press 1.
Press 1.
Press 1. There have been a number of digital media outlets that have been talking about the best fast food French fry.
Okay.
And they've been compiling top 10 lists.
And for the sake of our show and time, we could do top 5s, And ultimately, when you think of good fast food fries, what is the top one that comes to your mind?
Probably McD's.
Mickey D's. Okay, I would say they're in the top 5, but I have a couple in front of them.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I have probably the Chick-fil-A waffle fries at number 1.
Okay, at number 1. Wow.
Well, I mean, like, they're up there. And then I think Checkers and Rowley's.
They're spicy.
The Cajun fries, basically.
Yeah.
I think those are very tasty.
Right.
And when you're, like, looking at the McDonald's fries, I think Whataburger does them better. Whataburger's got some good fries.
No doubt Whataburger has kick-ass fries.
Burger King's fries suck. Taco Bell's fries suck. Their little nacho fries.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
no.
well, I mean, why would you buy fries?
Why the hell would I go to Taco Bell and buy fries?
Exactly. Or why would you have Taco Bell delivered to your house? That would just be horrible. Like, every single hard shell that you got as far as a hard taco, you'd have to go all soft if you went on Taco Bell delivery. Because, like, basically all the hard shells would be soggy by the time they got to you.
And broken.
Or broken, right. So
wait, you get that? Really? You get it delivered?
They have it to where you can get your Taco Bell delivered. But why would anybody want hard shells? Maybe a chalupa shell. Which, have you had the chalupa box combo?
No.
That's probably one of the best fast food deals that's out there right now.
I haven't had Taco Bell in almost 20 years.
Well, sometimes, like, especially when you go to places like Tampico's and it just sucks.
Right.
And it's just like, oh my God, that's nasty. I'd rather eat Taco Bell than this. Every now and again, you get a hankering for Mexican food and you're like, should I go spend $15 on some garbage? At Taco Bell? Of course, there's other Mexican restaurants that are much better. But you can just go to Taco Bell, get your little chalupa box for $5, and you get a chalupa, which is like a really big, like, fried flour tortilla taco,
right?
Which is really tasty. Regular taco, a burrito, cinnamon twist, and a drink for $5.
Damn.
And it's a $9 value for $5. That's probably one of the best buys you can get as far as fast foods go.
Right.
But getting back to the fries, yeah, I mean, Burger King's fries suck. I'd say Whataburger, Chick-fil-A, Checkers, Popeyes, I mean, is similar to Checkers.
Popeyes has shown up on the list. Arby's curly fries have shown up on multiple
Curly
lists.
fries are good, but that's similar to
at various positions, but generally in the top 10 every time, sometimes top 5.
Which, speaking of Taco Bell, according to the Slidell Police in Louisiana.
Oh, snap.
Please don't call us when Taco Bell runs out of taco shells. Apparently, some customer was really pissed that Taco Bell had run out of both hard and soft shells. Which, I mean,
they called the police.
And they called the police.
Right.
And the police okay, well, we don't necessarily deal with these kind of things. So, we've got a lot of news to get through. So, I mean, we've gotten through the fry debate. I think we covered the top fries. If you want to tell us your top fries.
Right. Call in.
It's almost Friday.
And fry our brain. with your fry selection.
What about just like non-fast food fries? You know, I mean,
Oh man, now then you start getting into, is it a high-end fast food like your Five Guys?
because I've
and
had
your
some good like
Red
gravy-covered
Robin?
fries, and you know, like
Been to Canada? Have you had poutine?
I've had poontang.
No, poutine. You
Poutine.
got fries and it's got this brown gravy
That's what they
and-
serve at the worst beer garden.
and the
Dude, you need to go to the beer
curds.
garden. You're a beer drinker, and
Yeah,
like
I'm
they've
a
got
beer-
a variety of the lagers.
right.
So I've got some Louisiana news, U.S. news, world news, LGBT news, because like so much of that dominates the media nowadays, it seems, or at least maybe my news feed, because like I click on them a lot of times and put them on the show, so it
The
keeps
more
on
you,
feeding
the,
them.
the
Keeps
more
on-
you click,
Hey,
the more
how
it
you
feeds.
doing? We're doing a TV show. We're doing a TV show. You know, I mean, like I like the legs and everything, but hey,
Oh, Jesus
goodness.
Christ. She's just gonna come in and start some stuff, dude.
You know. Well,
'Cause you-
Shahid will handle that.
You sure?
Well, I mean, I hope he does.
Okay,
Because
just
those
check.
shorts were pretty short. Got some education news. Well, in one story for the education. You want to just get that out of the way?
Yeah, because we don't need no.
Michael Como, principal of Holy Family
Holy
Catholic
Family.
School in Port Allen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Okay.
Yeah.
But he is the principal of Holy Family Catholic School in Port Allen. He was arrested at a gentleman's club, a short walk from the White House, while the school was on a field trip.
Right.
And apparently that's kind of frowned upon in the Catholic school to get arrested in a strip club by the White House on a
Right.
field trip. And he had to resign.
He had his service dog with him.
Did he?
He did.
You read about that one?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
yeah. I've read multiple.
Other than that, the only other education news I have is that Louisiana's public school teachers are going to get a $1,000 pay raise next year. Hey, great, $80 a month
Yeah.
before taxes.
Yeah.
Let's see, and districts will also get
Hey,
$39 million
$80
more to
a
spend
month.
on operations.
$80 a month. I could afford
Hey,
it.
but that covers basically Trump's tax plan, you know, that I'm losing in taxes.
Right. Well, not everyone.
I didn't benefit from Trump's tax plan. I did not.
Well, maybe you should have some children so you could have a tax deduction.
I know, right? Which, I mean, like, I might have some out there. You never know. It just might not claim them.
No. That one you don't want to ask for.
Well,
'cause
I mean,
there's back
like,
child support.
I met your mom about, like, how old are you?
Older than your dad, so.
Okay, well, I met her about that long ago.
Okay.
You know, so I might just be your daddy. I'm really not a daddy. That's just biological, you know, incompetence, and it's impossible.
It's impossible. Not without violating the laws of.
So I better warn, like, my dad 20 years ago. Like, well, it's not a crime 20 years ago, but it is now. Yelling at referees could lead to jail time in Louisiana as the Senate, Louisiana Senate backs the parental harassment bill. So you can't yell at the refs. Like, that was a bad call. You calling it against my kid. You're horrible.
Okay, but it makes me wonder what sort of egregious conduct had to have taken place for it to rise to the level that this sort of judgment law could be enacted.
No doubt. No, well, I mean, I'm sure,
'cause
like,
parents can be. They will violate.
I lived it, dude. I lived it.
violate Wheaton's law on the regular.
well, and, like, they'll, like, hunt down the ref after the game.
Oh, that's hardcore.
You know, and it's like these refs don't make crap, and they don't get paid enough for that. You know. So, anyways, just to kind of wrap up Louisiana news, how about this one? Like Lafayette, New Orleans is also going to enforce a juvenile curfew this summer. Age 16 and younger are going to be being in a public place after 9 p.m. So, yeah, basically curfews 9 p.m. during the week and 11 p.m. on Fridays and Saturdays in New Orleans and Lafayette.
Wonder about the Barry.
Well, I mean, it's very possible. It's very possible. I mean, I see like little babies out in the berry, like past midnight and stuff on the street.
Droopy diaper running around the front yard.
So we have those kind of restrictions on 16-year-old. How about this one? In Louisiana, there's no minimum age to get married. That's why the original version of the bill, SB 172, would have set the minimum age at 18. The GOP-dominated Senate only passed the bill after it was amended. The revised bill set the minimum age for the marriage at 16, which, of course, you cannot get an abortion. If you're going to have a baby, they want you to get married first.
Right.
So with anyone 16 and 17 limited to marrying people no more than 4 years older than them. Like my brother, dating back in the 90s, would have had a hardcore time with that. He dated girls my age, and he was about 5 years older.
So, is that all? I generally dated girls.
It was very common back then. Like the freshman girls would date the high school seniors.
Right.
It was kind of one of those things.
Okay. But then talking about a span of 4 years.
Yeah, I mean, but it was like 18-year-olds dating 14-year-olds. It was 18-year-olds dating 14-year-olds, which, of course, like back then, not a big deal. It's
not
kids.
A big deal.
And today, it's like, oh my God, that's like, pedophilia. So, I don't know. Yeah, there's that.
There is that.
So, the U.S. posted a $234 billion budget deficit last month, the biggest one-month deficit in history.
Yep.
So, Donald Trump's talking about how he's going to clear all the debt, right?
By tariffs, right?
Well, let's just go ahead and have the biggest deficit in a month that we've ever seen.
Okay. Our monthly, the government's monthly expenditures are at 105% of the nation's GDP. Okay, so every month the government operates, you're 5% behind.
Expensive.
So, gotta take in some money from somewhere.
So we're poor.
We're not poor. The money's going to the wrong place.
Well, speaking of which, the House Democrats proposed a $4,500 pay raise for Congress, going up from $174,000. They want to try and get it to $180,000.
No, I'm sorry. No. I mean, Washington's expensive. You know what? You guys bunk up.
Oh, I can't wait to get to that one. I'll give it a second, though. How about this one? Some Hillary Clinton news. Fun stuff. First off, to start off, former Secretary of State and failed presidential candidate Hillary Clinton will deliver a guest speech at the upcoming cybersecurity conference. Yes, the same Hillary Clinton who kept confidential emails on an unsecured server.
Yeah.
I guess she's a good example to live by.
Of what not to do.
Right. Also, Hillary drinking blood and eating kids was discussed in Congress earlier this week. How about that?
Who was doing the discussing, I wonder?
Well, they were basically, I think, grilling YouTube about some of the videos they post.
Oh, okay.
So they weren't necessarily claiming that it was true, but they were saying that these are crazy extreme videos that I guess YouTube is maybe trying to take down, and kind of they were just grilling them on some information about it.
Right.
And so, needless to say, but they openly talked about this in the public and in the media, that Hillary's drinking blood and eating kids, and that's some of the accusations against her. And I've heard she's reptilian, I mean, so who's to say? Maybe that's part of her diet.
That could be, yeah. I mean, she is sort of reptilian.
And speaking of old Trumpster, basically lesser of two evils here, EPA is planning to get thousands of pollution deaths off the books by changing its math and basically, raising the bar to where they don't have to report as many deaths due to pollution.
Right. Change the numbers so that, they don't qualify as pollution deaths. Oh, well, cancer, you were only exposed to that.
I hate to say it, folks, the game is rigged.
No.
We got a bunch of puppets fucking, it's bad. It's bad.
I hate it when somebody tries to use me as a puppet, because when they jam that hand,
at least a little
totally
lube. At least a
uncomfortable.
little lube first.
That's just, no.
Start with at least one finger in the puppet. How about the wealthiest 10% of households now control 70% of the wealth? No news there.
Yeah.
As recently as 2000,
Right.
not that long ago, only 60% of the wealth was in the top 10%.
Controlled by the top 10.
So it's basically rapidly growing for the richest people. Basically, the middle class being destroyed. In recent years, the gains of the top 1% have been outsized and come largely at the expense of those in the middle. The lowest 50% of earners, that's half of us in America, that's one of you or me.
Yeah.
Basically recouped at least a piece of the wealth pie. Basically, the bottom half of the U.S. households now control only 1% of the country's wealth. So half of the country fighting over 1% of the wealth.
Yeah.
Basically meaning we have scraps.
Well,
we have gruel.
You could eat the rich because the poor are tough and chewy.
Well, the rich own all the media and the entertainment, and basically we're lulled to sleep by these rich people and doing nothing about it other than hosting a TV show and public broadcasting that only a few of you watch.
But thank you for watching.
Hey, thanks. All right.
Yeah. Now, if you just call, seriously, call.
We'd love to hear from you. I think sometimes we jump from topics to,
Well, we can always
go back to the one you were interested in.
Reel it back, yeah, absolutely.
So things are going pretty bad in Los Angeles.
What's happening in L.A.?
I have a couple LA stories here. So homelessness has jumped to 12% in LA County and 16% within the city. That's 1 in 6 people that are homeless in Los Angeles.
Right.
Because
rent is too damn high.
They're being priced out. They're being priced out of their homes.
The rent is too damn high.
No doubt. So
who was that gentleman that was his slogan, that the rent
and even the company
high.
that basically I read this one, and I don't know if I have it on here. If I do, I'll get to it. But I was reading something about how this company is being sued for kind of starting a lot of the fires or something like that, or basically it was their little neighborhood that was safe. And I'm gonna have to go back to the article.
Okay.
I don't want to necessarily talk about that.
We can deal with that.
We've got a doctor, Dr. Drew. I don't know if it's the Dr. Drew.
Like the TV radio Dr. Drew?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, but I don't know what his last name is, and they said his last name, but I just went with Dr. Drew. So he claims, and this is his quotations, that we have a complete breakdown of the basic needs of civilization in Los Angeles right now. The first prong, it's a 3-prong deal that basically says that it's bringing back the plague or Black Death.
Really?
And so it's a 3-prong thing here. The first prong is airborne disease. He said, pointing out that tuberculosis is exploding in Los Angeles. The second prong is one that brings Black Death, rodent-borne. The third prong is oral fecal contamination. He said, which is typhoid fever, which is typhoid fever, 3 cases, 1 confirmed, probably 3. I don't know.
What about, oh, crud, it begins with a C. Never mind. My brain's not.
Cunnilingus. But that's in L.A. In Oakland, they've become the second city to decriminalize magic mushrooms.
Yay.
After many people testified that psychedelics have helped them overcome depression, drug addiction, and post-traumatic stress disorder.
Well, maybe I need to work on my PTSD.
Are you traumatized?
Dude, I just people. I just can't do people. I have to do people for my job, but in general, I can't handle because they're just so people-y.
Well, this is one thing that you'd probably support. Alabama requiring child sex offenders to be chemically castrated before leaving prison. That way the stupid people don't reproduce, because that seems to be a lot of who reproduces nowadays.
Right. I don't know. If they've penetrated a child, I think a big pair of scissors and just
Usually those people are messed up in prison, you know, like as far as like people here with their charges, and they basically take care of those people in prison, you know, like, and like my hand like that was receiving the punch is the booty hole.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, TVMA, folks.
Right.
Don't let your kids watch this show. New York could be the first state to ban cat declawing.
Yeah, I read that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, shouldn't your cats really be declawed?
Okay. Would you like me to come with a pair of clippers and nip off the first joint of every one of your fingers?
Well, I mean, like, don't go down to the joint. Just clip the tip. Clip the tip like you do the dog. You know, don't get the nerve.
It's not how it works, because that first
when
joint...
they're declawed.
They have had this first joint of their finger removed. The way that they're built, that finger folds backwards until they do the muscle thing, and then it just goes...
Have me wishing I had my first joint, you know, because I've never had one before. And Facebook.
Oh, God. Really?
Reportedly... is announcing their own cryptocurrency this month.
Yeah, I read that.
And they are even allowing employees to take that as a salary instead of cash dollar greenbacks.
Don't be stupid. Don't be stupid.
So world news. That was our. We've got our LA and U.S. news done.
Right,
It's done.
Woo!
Done. Get out of the way. World news. In Denmark's Faroe Islands, a centuries-old tradition of butchering whales was in full swing last week as the waters of Torshavn Bay were turned into a sea of deep red. Okay. Anywhere from 130 to 150 pilot whales and 10 to 20 white-sided dolphins were brutally killed in the annual mass hunt.
Brutally?
Well, I mean, like, this is centuries-old tradition, and they eat the fish and, like, use the blubber, and, like, they use all the stuff.
Right. Well, then that sounds reasonable.
I thought so as well, but, like, in today's politically correct society and PETA and, you know, all that, like, I mean, like, this is centuries-old tradition,
right.
And, like, it's an essential part of their community and, like, resources of their society.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, it is what it is.
I'm down with that.
You know, I mean, like, God put it here for a reason. And if, like, there's that many that they can go, like, hunt that easy, that means that, hey, you know, I mean, like, they were there to hunt.
Right.
You know, they're not going extinct here, you know, I mean.
And it's not like they're going to pack it up and sell it off to somebody else. I mean, it's a unique commodity.
Right.
I mean... you probably have to be indigenous to want to consume.
So let me ask your opinion on something.
Oh, jeez. Okay, go ahead.
So if you were, like, to run up to, say, I don't know, any kind of minority, like, we'll just use, like, a Muslim as an example.
Okay.
Or a person of LGBT status or whatever.
Okay.
And you claim that you hate people of that status, like I hate Muslims or I hate LGBTs, and then you punch them in the face, would that be considered a hate crime? I hate this particular race, or I hate this particular type of person, or this particular religion,
right.
And then you assault them.
Okay.
Would that be considered a hate crime? Probably.
I have an issue with the whole hate crime.
I agree.
thing.
I agree as well.
I mean,
it's a slippery slope.
A crime is a crime.
A crime is a crime. Like,
and you can you use the underlying hate as
there are definitely
as
it
the
definitely
motivation
brings
to
the spotlight
commit.
to the people that are definitely I guess victims of those crimes the most. But like it's a slippery slope on freedom of speech. So here's where I'm getting at with that. You were saying that it's probably a hate crime, right?
Probably.
Well, not according to a Canadian judge, because, hey, if we're all equal, right?
Canada isn't America.
Yelling, I hate white people,
right,
and then punching one in the face is not a hate crime, rules a Canadian judge.
Okay. I hate white people,
and then smack
punching a white person
is not a hate crime.
is not a hate crime.
However, if you were yelling, like basically saying any other ethnicity,
it would be a hate crime. Okay, well, somebody in Canada messed up. Canada, Upper Cascadia.
Which, speaking of Canada, I would never want your bacon on my pizza.
No. Canadian bacon, back bacon? No, that's not bacon. We want American bacon.
Give us American bacon, baby. Right. But you can now buy a $30 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle pizza cutter and spatula set exclusively with ThinkGeek and GameStop.com, I suppose.
Not going to happen.
Which I'm wondering, like, they've had to have had that before, like a Ninja Turtle pizza cutter.
I'm sure.
How could they have not done that? Covering a little bit. Oh, wait. We got one more world news thing. How about Indonesian? Well, this actually leads right into the LGBT news as well. Indonesian politician claims that eating instant noodles and processed milk makes babies gay.
No. For true?
That's what, according to an Indonesian politician.
Well, we have this lady that sometimes fills in at work who tells certain young adults that drinking milk makes you gay.
Yeah, that and apparently the instant noodles as well.
I did not know about the instant noodles.
I guess ramen noodles.
Is it pot noodles or is it ramen noodles?
That's what I'm thinking is the ramen.
Does it need to be rice noodles? Is it flour noodles?
Let's see. Yeah, it's a good question. Question.
Because if you're gluten intolerant, then you definitely don't want flour noodles.
I'm not necessarily familiar on the noodle types. So, let's see. Captain America, or Chris Evans, was basically talking crap on Boston's Straight Pride Parade in a tweet.
Yeah. Captain. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, Captain. No, Captain America's got. You know what? I'm not even gonna go. I am going to pull up the thing because. In states that have legalized man.
Well, we tag teaming you, man.
Okay.
What's going on here, man? What we looking at?
I was just trying to pull up a story because he just up and walked out. Earlier we were talking about rain, and this year, this past 12 months, is the rainiest, is the wettest period on record for the lower 48 since they've been collecting records since 1895. And
you saying that since
1895,
okay,
this is the rainiest year on record.
Wow.
The past 12 months.
I mean, I can't see that. I mean, because we've been having like some serious dry days. However, we had a real good rain for the last couple of days.
When we get rain, we get a bunch of rain.
Yes, and a lot of people have been affected by this rain. I mean, the drainage system is like terrible.
Oh,
man.
dude, it's insane. We're right by the bayou. How can you not have something that
Some type of
drains
protective
rainwater
Yes.
just to the bayou?
I wonder what's going to happen when they open the planning of the Magaza spillway.
Yeah, they've been delaying on that.
Guess what I seen in my yard yesterday? Day before yesterday. A skunk, man. I seen a skunk in my yard. My dog was barking at it, man.
I can see where that would get the dog's attention.
Yeah, what you thinking? Wildlife is coming this way? I mean,
getting away from the oncoming water.
I've been wanting to wrestle with a bear, though, man.
Do you?
Oh, I'm serious, man. Like one of those black bears. I believe I could take one of those,
think
man,
so?
with my hand, man. I
No.
think I could take one of those bears with my hand. Because,
I-
the wildlife coming, man.
Right, but I don't want to do any wrestling. I just want them to
Just leave me alone.
leave me alone. I'll leave you alone. We're just gonna have
Right,
a
yeah.
happy, calm,
But that
peaceful
prob-
time together.
That might make a good yard fundraiser, man. Come witness Shaheed wrestle the black bear, man.
Yeah, I could see where that could drum up a certain
Is that
amount
like
of
a gay
interest.
thing?
Huh?
Is that like a gay thing?
Oh no
No,
gator.
Oh, I've heard bears.
Yeah.
No, it's like real wrestling, man.
But yes, Shaheed, thank you. Real
We
quick.
tag teaming. We tag teaming.
Oh,
bro.
yes, indeed. Tag. All right. Yes. Sometimes, when you're cleansing, it's a spiritual cleanse. Thank you, Shaheed. Yes, indeed. So, wrestling black bears. I would probably, if I encountered a bear, I'd be like, hey, I'm good.
Right, wrestling.
I'm not gonna try to run, because you'd probably catch me,
Yeah.
and I'm just gonna act calm, and hope you don't eat me.
I'm gonna try to make sure to look big too. If you've got a jacket on.
Yeah,
flare your jacket
no,
out.
you don't want to mess with me, bear. I'm a little crazy, and you don't know what to expect of me. You can't predict me,
Right.
so you might want to retreat. So, let's see. How about half of transgender and non-binary people hide their identity at work in fear of discrimination? And I would almost say that's the male to female half. Because I see, a lot of the girls that are dressed as guys, in the workplace.
Okay. Yeah. People that are.
And that's not a big deal. And as far as, males to females, it's, based on passability. I mean, because you can't go in there with, a 5 o'clock shadow and a cheap wig and say, I'm a female, right?
Okay, but if you're taking the hormone shots, then the
Right.
beard growth
You still might be
slows.
ugly as crap, but...
The beard growth slows down. The features get softer.
all that stuff.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Well, according to Cher,
Like
the half-breed,
musician?
right?
Right, okay.
Cher,
The artist.
the artist.
Known as Cher. Yeah.
She claims that if Trump wins the re-election in 2020,
Right.
that he's going to put LGBTQ people in internment camps.
She does she? I wonder what makes her think that.
I don't know. And I mean, as far
not-
as Trump's policies, you can't necessarily say that he's necessarily done anything anti-gay, but you can definitely say he's done some anti-trans stuff. Kicked them out of the military,
Right.
made it legal to discriminate against them in the workplace.
Right.
Basically redid a bunch of Obama's laws and reversed them.
Right.
So
He's setting up a reputation as the anti-Obama?
well, they are pretty much. That's all they are. Is a swinging pendulum of the same
Right.
crap. The same coin. Basically, the same device that swing back and forth. So that I guess covers our gay news.
Okay.
We're good on news.
We're good on news.
We're good on education. Couple of more entertainment. You want to be entertained? Are you not entertained, Acadiana? And other people watching in other areas.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey.
Hi.
Yeah. But entertained? I'm down with that.
Well, we already covered the Ninja Turtle story. How about? Did you hear about the Jeopardy guy who's been tearing it up lately?
I heard he lost.
He lost on Monday, and I don't ever watch Jeopardy, because it
Right.
comes on a weird time of day, and that I'm not watching TV usually that time of day. Well, I actually watched on Monday. It was on.
Right.
I had the TV on, and I was like, oh, Jeopardy, let me check it out. And he lost. So I was bad luck for the dude.
Right. Well,
Anyways, this guy ended his streak at 33 games. He only fell, though, and the record, of course, for the most games won in a row is Ken Jennings.
right.
With
which was
74
yeah.
games. But get this, he was only $58,484 short of Ken Jennings' record.
cash record.
In cash record. Because this dude, all he did was every single Daily Double, he would double it.
Right.
Every single Final Jeopardy, he would double it.
Right.
And like he was making over $100,000 every show, just about. So,
well, he's some sort of gambling something or other.
Well, they have a
from
bunch of people that
Vegas
study the analytics of Jeopardy and the questions. There's a database of questions, and
Okay.
there's like Jeopardy science that like
that
a lot of people
doesn't
study.
surprise me. Jeopardy science.
Well, then the person
Dude,
that
I'd
actually
like to take that
the
class.
person that
science.
actually beat the guy James Halser or whatever basically wrote a paper in trying to predict like the hardness of questions in different category or something like that. So it's basically like people write academic papers on Jeopardy questions or answers, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
How about Voodoo Fest 2019? You might like it. Headliners: Guns N' Roses, Post Malone. I was trying to do an auto-tune noise. And Beck. I'll check out Beck. But
I wouldn't run away, but I'm not gonna drive in, pay to park, deal with people and all
or
that.
camp in the fairgrounds or whatever, and just like everything is skyrocketed price.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like the tickets are ridiculous. And there's probably all kind of like bad drugs that like the CIA and the government is just like sprinkling in these places. Like, here, check out this new drug that just came out this year that you're gonna overdose and die. Which of course, we've all been to our festivals in our earlier years.
We've all been festive.
But it wasn't as bad as it was now, So, and how about did Snoop Dogg? Snoop Doggy Dogg. He's sipping on gin and juice, a whole lot of it, in fact. Broke the Guinness Book of World Records for the largest gin and juice in the world.
Okay.
You want to guess?
I wish
How many
I had-
gallons?
It's got to be more than 1,000.
Not that much, but 132 gallons of gin and juice that he concocted.
132 gallons.
132 gallons.
Crazy.
So that's a big old drink. I wonder if they just made it in gin and juice for everybody in the house.
Tub, vat, whatever.
Right? And speaking of lifting the juice, SEC lifts the ban on alcohol, and LSU is now free to sell beer and wine in Tiger Stadium.
Okay.
So some more drunken football fans.
Yay!
That's always a case recipe for success, right? Almost want to just like bump wow wow
And then disappear.
Wow wow. There's somebody actually watching us right
Be
now.
a discorporated.
Oh! Look how invisible I am.
You're too funny, dude.
I'm making that lady
I know,
totally
you're making her
right now.
uncomfortable, which is.
It's
look
brilliant.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. But see how I'm see-through right now? Okay, that's why I'm not supposed to wear green shirts on the show.
Right.
Because none of this is real. It's real fake news.
Right.
We've got about 13
19?
minutes left.
13?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some studies and interesting stuff.
Interesting stuff.
Interesting stuff. Well, first off, let's kind of fly through. What were you going to say about anal cancer?
Yes. There.
Don't read. Don't read.
No,
Tell me.
There's
From your memory.
a lady from a TV show, Desperate Housewives, whatever.
And she's got anal cancer.
She had, or she's being treated for anal cancer, and she's been in the media because she wanted to open up about anal cancer.
She wanted to open up about anal cancer. Well, maybe that was what got her into cancer in the first place, was opening up.
Her husband had throat cancer.
Oh, and maybe it was like tossing too many salads that got him the throat cancer and her the.
Does that mean that cancer's contagious?
Maybe 2 girls in 1 cup is. We talked about it in the LA story. They got or even San Francisco, they apparently got poo everywhere.
Yep.
Why is poo everywhere? Oh, so many homeless people being priced out of their homes. Banks owns more than half of the homes in this country now.
Right.
The 1% has, more than like 90% of the wealth. Half of us are dealing on 1%, barely getting by. Just some good old slave labor. Which there's a documentary.
Slave labor. Yeah.
There's a documentary on I saw on Netflix about the 13th Amendment, basically that made it only legal for slavery if you're a prisoner. So that's basically whenever they changed the practice of basically they harassed African American people. And of course, it would be good to get like Shaheed in on this, because I know he's an expert in that area.
Right.
But we've got only about 11 minutes, so we might as well just get through our news here. What do you say?
Let's do that.
All right. Tesla and SpaceX CEO Elon Musk said recently in a documentary called "Do You Trust This Computer?" which I have not yet watched. I want to watch. Do you trust this computer? That's our documentary of the month in June.
Okay.
I haven't watched it yet, but we're gonna watch it. Do you trust this computer? Anyways, Elon Musk said in an interview that artificial intelligence does not have to be evil to destroy humanity. And Musk warned the creation of superintelligence could lead to an immortal dictator. Musk believes that humans should merge with AI to avoid the risk of becoming irrelevant.
Pass.
I'm interested in the AI. I mean, maybe they created some AI a while ago that's got this super intelligence and is telling all the governments in the world what to do and the plan for I don't know. It's
global domination.
Yeah. So who's to say? And maybe that AI has gotten out of control and wants to kill 90% of the population.
Skynet.
That's pretty much what's going down here, folks. And if you're not the 5G's rolling in by 2022, that's Skynet. So y'all ready for it? Big Brother. Okay, but I'm just a crazy guy on TV,
right.
though.
If you're not paranoid, you're not paying attention.
So you were also mentioned the police using doorbell cameras for surveillance.
Yep. Amazon's doorbell cameras.
That's just one of the many ways that gets spy on you, just along with your PS4 or any other of those, the smart TVs that have the cameras on them.
But the fact that so many of them are installed in certain jurisdictions and the police subpoena the feeds and turn a neighborhood into a surveillance network.
Right, you can pretty much see just about everybody in the street, so no doubt about that. And speaking of spying, the cars, the new cars that are out nowadays, all the smart cars,
right?
Not only know how much you weigh, but they also track how much weight you gain. Just so they can torque the wheelage, right? They also know how fast you drive, where you live, how many children you have, and even your financial information. If you connect your phone to a car, it knows who we call, who we text, what websites you go to, and all that fun stuff as well. Can advertise to you. And the question is, who's selling that, or where does that data go to? And can the car manufacturer sell the data?
Of course they can.
Sure.
There's something in the EULA buried deep in the gobbledygook.
And there are a couple of states that are fighting for people to basically own their data. To where hey, you can't sell this information. It's unlawful without my knowledge to sell this information outside parties.
That'll be good for the future, but it's not going to do anything for
our generation.
Right.
We're the experimental meese, basically.
Yeah.
Let's see. A well-known CIA pilot claims that the moon has 250 million citizens. Conspiracy?
Oh, Jesus. God almighty. Okay, wait. How many people?
250 million citizens on the moon.
And citizens of
the moon.
Oh, so they're lunar citizens.
Yeah. And they live inside the planet. Every other planet basically lives in the core. And there's been people saying that They've
Okay,
got
are
people
these-
living in the core and Earth.
Are these people human or
No,
are they
alien.
some other race?
Yes, alien, and like apparently, like the moon mission, like they claim that they saw, aliens whenever they landed, and but that wasn't part of the report.
I don't
And, like
remember
all the footage and stuff was fake stuff, but they did go to the moon, apparently.
Yes, they went to the moon. I
Yeah.
mean, they're photographing.
Well, and they tried to like nuke the moon and do a nuclear test.
Who?
Apparently America, and like
Seriously?
and like it wasn't happening. Like it was rejected basically, and just like any other nuclear missile we've ever shot into space has been basically just like eliminated. It's not allowed in space.
Why the heck?
And
would
that's pretty
you
much when
throw
we
a
started getting all the
nuke-
alien stuff. Is whenever we started testing nuclear missiles near Roswell, New Mexico, and basically, that's where.
Right. Well, I think we could still nuke the moon if we put our mind to it.
Well, and if you look at like where all the UFO, like basically documented like sites of the UFOs,
Right.
it's all near nuclear testing sites.
Well, there was a city in China just last week that there was the video of the weird lights in the sky.
What they're saying now is that the government has created their own UFOs or UEAs or whatever.
Really?
Yeah, and basically they're gonna do a false flag alien attack
Okay. That's
in order to create the new world order. We all have to come together as a world.
right. Because if we all need to have the same somebody to hate.
And with all the 5G and the satellites and basically scanning of the entire world, how could they not? And if they have that technology to be able to create UFOs, and anyways, finishing off here. Let's see, we can come back to those if we got time. A scientist credited with discovering the HIV virus has admitted that he's created the AIDS in order to reduce the world's population. Yeah, we've heard about that one. How about New Hampshire state officials in their health organization have acknowledged that measles caused, or the MMR vaccination basically was caused the measles outbreak in New Hampshire.
Okay, so they're saying the vaccination caused the outbreak.
No doubt. And like the state officials, the health officials have said, and gone on record saying that these vaccinations basically caused the measles reaction.
That one I'm gonna have to look at.
Look it up, man.
Oh no, absolutely.
And we encourage all of our viewers to. We report a lot of stories that maybe it's just one side of the story. Hey,
and I have
I
friends
welcome you to call and tell me I'm wrong.
that have children that can't be vaccinated because they're allergic to the medium, the suspension that the thing is in.
Well, here's another one. A 2-dose vaccine for chickenpox now is linked to an epidemic of shingles.
Yeah.
So a lot of these are bad news. A court awards $137,500 when 8 vaccines kill an infant in 12 hours. I would never give it.
Holy
Why would you give an infant 8 vaccines in one day?
No.
But still, it
No.
killed the infant in 12 hours. The DTaB, the HIV, hepatitis B, PCV, IPV, and rotavirus vaccines basically killed this kid in 12 hours.
That's
And-
insane. Where
But-
was this?
This was in America. I think it was like
man. That's just nuts.
and like even the coroner like said like, hey, that was the cause of death. I mean, duh. Let's see. How about on a more positive note to finish the show, because we've only got a few minutes left here. Kids whose parents make them do chores are more successful. Well, that's
we can
logical.
only hope.
Give them a little responsibility.
Right. Well, I hope my child's successful.
Clean up after
because-
yourself.
Because I tell her that there are things that need to be done.
This one's not that surprising. Well, I don't know. I was a little surprised, but not surprised kind of thing.
Kind of like sorry, not sorry.
Yeah. Let's see. Study finds that children raised without religion are kinder and more empathetic. I mean, I guess you're not as judgmental, maybe, like, because I can see, like, as a early Christian being more judgmental. As you become more enlightened, then you're less judgmental, kind of as we discussed earlier, you know? Anyways, scientists say that traveling makes us happier than any material wealth.
Okay.
I can dig that.
Yeah.
And finally, some dog stories. A new bill that makes it illegal to abandon your dogs in natural disasters. Like, what kind of person leaves their dog?
Abandon their dog. No.
Yeah, you suck if you do that. But apparently it's a thing. Because people should be definitely akin to their dogs. A new study shows that 86% of people would actually break up with someone who doesn't like their dog.
Mm-hmm.
No, you want to talk crap about my dog? Well, we don't need to be dating anymore.
Right.
In my opinion.
Love me, love my dog.
So, just to finish the show, I guess Bilderberg Group met last week.
Yeah.
Some important topics they talked about.
Kept their agenda silent.
No, it's in the open. Like, they actually listened the week before. Their topics, and we've only got a limited amount of time here. Number 1 is stable strategic order. Number 2, what's next for Europe? Number 3, climate change and sustainability. Number 4, China. Number 5, Russia. Number 6, the future of capitalism. Number 7, the Brexit.